debrief, and then I imagine we'll have some leftover time if there's anything we want to hack on to bring to completion. And I will pass the mic to Griff.
Yeah, so actually, can you keep calling Donna, because we really want her here.
Yeah, Andy.
Thank you for being on that. Nice. Oh yeah, proof of call. That deserves crypto. Anyway, so I hope that we can go through the Rinkeby plan and the plan for deployment this week and look at the blockers. Make this not only a closing call, but also an opening call to some extent, so that we can divvy out some work for the week and just get status updates everywhere. Yeah, and on that, I'll pass it to Lauren.
My intentions for the call are just like to stay in the loop. Maybe we can talk about the GIV design stuff. But yeah, I just want to like understand the bigger picture and be here. But I'm also a little bit distracted because I have to finish packing and leave in like an hour and a half. So I'm going to shut my video off and be here listening. Pass it to Monique.
Well, guys, I'm just here to learn and listen to you. That's it. Yeah, I'm feeling superb today, and I pass it to Bowen.
Hey, y'all. I'm here to see where everybody's at and where we're at, and looking forward to putting together yet another list of addresses for the drop with Donna, actually, who will hopefully come. As far as distractions, same as always. I'm stuck in Florida. Other than that, everything's great, and I will pass it to Amin. Are you gone?
No, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, hi everyone. My intention is to be in the loop and kick off the project. We have lots of things to do, and there's lots of things fighting for me. Yeah, and my distraction is I'm calling Dana. Maybe she's phone is silent. I don't know. Her phone is silent, so I pass the mic to Ashley.
Hey guys, feeling pretty good this morning. It's still pretty early here, so I'm still kind of like waking up, but I'm here and I'm glad to be here. And yeah, my intention, I just want to sync up and kind of see where we're at. I think I missed the last call, but that's why I wanted to check in with this one and yeah, touch base with all of you. And I think back to you, Forrest, everybody else is going.
Amazing. Thanks, everyone. And just so you know, I'm taking notes for this call in the Notion doc, but I'm doing it on my computer, which is offline at the moment. So you won't see the live updates, but I am taking notes, and I will make sure that these get saved to Notion. Okay, so first, I'm hearing we want to dig through status updates on everything. I heard from Griff, maybe something we can hack on is going through the Rinkeby and deployment plan and make sure there's no blockers. And I heard from Lauren, maybe discussing more detailed updates on the design stuff. And if we still have time after all of that, we can start to discuss what our Sprint 13 priorities will be and start to get things assigned to make a little bit of headway before tomorrow. Okay, so as far as our Sprint 12 priorities, I believe everyone here was on the community call yesterday, where we did go through and kind of give updates on everything. So I don't think we need to. I think more so we can go through the things that aren't yet fully completed and go into maybe greater detail there. So as far as design, we have this GIV design components document that maybe we could take a look at and yeah, kind of see where we are at with each of those like individual pieces. And then there's also the adding the Give stream to dashboard. So let me just pull up this other Notion doc. Okay. So at the top here, I see in progress by Marco, the give drop claim flow with the use cases and calculators. Griff, and have you and Willie done any reworking on those calculators yet? I see a note here. These calculators on this flow need to be reworked a little with some feedback from Griff and Willie. Okay. Okay, I'll make a note. Removing calculators.
Sorry,
Okay.
I wasn't hearing you. I was in the call. Do we have any Figma for the design component design on the token?
Yes, let me in the Discord channel for
yeah, there is some
Give economy. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just shared a link to the Notion Give Design Components agenda document in the Give Economy channel, and you can follow along there. There's several different Figma links embedded in each of the deliverable tasks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Give homepage with tabs. One big dashboard page with a summary of information. Let's see. Check out this Figma file and see if this is updated.
You said one channel? Which channel?
I think there's a link in the.
Or what that mean?
Which channel did you share? Is that?
Give economy.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
It's got like a little green emoji.
Yeah. Design component, yeah.
I think the only updates on this, on the design since the last meeting that we had, is that there's been a little bit of like reworking of just the like general Giveth homepage. I noticed that like the new designers have been working on that. But I don't think that there's been like any progress on the like give back page, et cetera, like kind of like it's like outlined in that design document. But we did have like a little hack session with like Ashley and Mitch, and we talked about it and like kind of like fine-tuned the ideas a little bit. So I'm gonna work on the copy, like the text that's gonna go on the pages for give backs and for liquidity mining or whatever. And then like communicate that to Marco and just like maybe he's going to delegate to those new designers. But as far as I know, like this is that there hasn't been like any more mock-ups that have been made for the individual sections.
Okay, and what you guys hacked on was for the liquidity mining page.
Oh no, what we hacked on was like for the overall give economy like design flow. So the way that it's going to work is basically there's going to be like a separate tab from the homepage of giveth.io that's called Give. And then you go to like a separate page where there's multiple different tabs. One says give backs, one says give mining, one says give garden. And then under each of those sections, there's like some kind of like text and graphical explanations, and then like the elements that are required for each section. Like, so for givebacks, it explains how long the round is and like how many tokens are allocated the round. And that's like all on the one page. It's similar to what they have designed for Fox, the Fox, like the shapeshift token. They have a similar thing. So that's the kind of like general idea of how it'll work, but the individual kind of like design sections haven't been finished.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, amazing. I took some notes. So then is there anything else that we want to discuss around design? And Lauren, do you feel that there's a need for any additional like hack sessions or collaborative brainstorming sessions from our team, or it's really just the ball is in the design team's court at this point?
I think it's like a little combination, like design and comms. So like I was going to work on just the text for each of the pages and then like kind of communicate that to Marco. And then I'm sure that there's going to be like some like, but how will this work? How will this work? That comes up. And then I think though at that point, then we can like reach out to other people, like reach out to Amin and ask him like, will this actually be functionally possible to display this information? And like, but right now I think it's like a little combination of like waiting on me and waiting on Marco or the other designers to start the mock-ups.
Okay. And writing copy for the pages. Got it. Thank you. A thorough status update. Love it. Okay, so I'm just going to put here notes as of August 2nd in Give Design Components Notion doc. Okay. Bueno. All right, and so then Give Garden, we resolved that. DAP node, check. Onboarding going well. Give Drop. Okay, so this is something that Donna and Griff and Bowen are working on. I believe Donna and Bowen are searching for correct addresses, and they have a goal of having this piece ready midweek. Does that feel realistic to you two? No.
Depending on the number of groups that we end up having to track down, maybe. I know that we're going to do one of them today, which is kind of going to be a learning session. And then we have Tuesday after the meeting and, perhaps also Wednesday. Thursday is out because of 1559. But I have time like that and Friday to try and hopefully button it up, depending on whether or not we get tossed any extras than we already have.
Yeah, I would agree. I think decisions will be able to be made on Wednesday that will like solidify the spec effectively, and then we'll know exactly what has to be done, and then it has to be done. But yeah.
Okay, amazing. That makes sense. And Bowen and Donna, you have everything that you're equipped with everything you need to have these sessions together, or is there anything that you need from the team? Any missing questions?
For right now, we have everything we need, I believe, especially for today's call, which is going to be the first sort of, this is how the whole thing actually happens. Then the following days will be dragging everything else down.
Okay.
That is, I have everything I need to help her out. As far as I know, I'm not sure about Donna, but I don't want to speak for her.
For late meaning you is I have problems and first I'm asking
I think your connection is a little bit choppy, Donna. It's hard to hear you. I'm just kind of getting every other word. I don't know if you have like.
If you turn your video off, it might. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you turn your video off, the audio will come through better.
And also, if you ever are having like tough connection problems and we can't hear you speaking, but you can hear us, and there's something that you want to share, you can always write it in the Give Economy Discord channel. And we can see what you have to say that way as well. Okay, I'm not hearing anything.
Maybe we can turn on our camera too. Maybe that helps Dana.
We can what?
We turn off our camera to help Dana to load the page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me, guys?
Yep, we
I
can
can hear you a little better, yeah.
But not anymore, if you're trying to talk. Nope, we lost her.
Okay.
All right.
I think everything is the same.
Cool. Okay, beautiful. Anything else around the give drop?
Just before we, so give drop, yeah, I think we'll probably need another 1% or something like that from the total spreadsheet to give to these DAO organizations. We'll see exactly what we need to make the give drop worth it for all the different orgs, but that will be something we have to do to check the overall numbers, see where we want to pull that 1% from. Maybe it comes from our give, maybe it comes from Gardens. There's lots of places to pull it from, but it will be a thing.
Is that going up for a vote type thing, or is it just going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, when we get everything, when we get some solid proposals, then everything will be finalized by a vote.
Awesome.
And Aragon voting. Okay, perfect. All right, I've got my notes. Bueno. Okay, and then our final piece of the pie is Give Mining. So we have this forum post that went up a few weeks ago on the initial Give Mining configuration. It's had plenty of time for the advice process, so I think we just need to move this to Aragon voting to lock in at least those initial percentages, unless there are any changes that anyone on the team feels.
No, I think, well, the 5%, the 5 years and 10%,
10%.
I think we can lock in, or at least we can put up for an Aragon vote. The rest is in such flux that I think it would be weird to talk about anything else. Just because we're learning so much about DAppNode's mining program, there's already lots of changes I want to make and have made sort of to a test sheet around how we want to balance the liquidity mining pools, and I'm really excited to go to meet with Willie and lobby for not a flat rate. But we'll see. We'll also see what the data shows with DAppNode when they change the rate on people in about a week. Because just for FYI, so DAppNode has a kind of like a Nike swish pattern for their liquidity mining program. So the first is really high, like the first 2 weeks is really high, and then every 2 weeks for the next month or two, it will get lower pretty quickly, and then it'll kind of even out, and then it will slowly raise. And it'll change every 2 weeks. So yeah, so it doesn't make sense to do an Aragon vote until we see how the community reacts to that and what the liquidity mining programs look like from that.
Right. Okay. Perfect. So we'll just put the 10% in 5 years part up for now so we can move forward with that and just kind of stay tuned for the rest. Okay, perfect. Well, that brings us through all of our Sprint 12 priorities. We really seem to have gotten quite a lot done in this sprint. I guess coming back after a pause, we had a lot of energy to crush some things out. I would love, just being that this is a retrospective call, to give a little bit of time, open discussion. How do we feel that this sprint went? And is there anything major that we would like to shift or adapt in the way that we run sprint number 13 based on our experience over the past 2 weeks? And I'm just going to leave it open. We can kind of like do some popcorn shares.
So I'd say is that this was a relatively successful sprint, given how much a lot of people were in Paris and a lot of things were a little disjointed, with new people coming in, and things are happening. It's kind of like a whirlwind. Always feels disorganized because it's so in flux and everything's moving. But man, DApp node launched. That's a huge milestone, and now we can really start focusing on the Giveth side of things. So that's pretty exciting. As far as things that want to change, Donna was talking about maybe doing stand-ups, maybe even daily stand-ups. So I'll let her figure out how to organize that or what her thoughts are there. Also, I really want to start bringing in some more developers from Giveth Trace into the fold to push the different pieces forward. Ramin would be really helpful after we get everything set up with so Amin probably will hopefully help Edu get everything set up on Rinkaby and Gurley, hopefully this week. And then we'll need, once that's all set, then getting Ramin to kind of pimp out the designs to be more Giveth-y, instead of just saying DApp node everywhere, right? Will be a major task. And then probably requesting support from Mohammed on givebacks, so he can start managing givebacks when that fits in his schedule. And just really, seeing how Donna can also help us get clearer roadmaps and stuff like that is pretty exciting to me.
Amazing. Thank you, Griff. Does anyone else this is an open discussion, does anyone else have any feedback on how you felt Sprint 12 went and what you would like to adapt for our next sprint?
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, good. I was mute. I jumped in to make it happen. That's my ambition to make the deadline prepare it. But I need to be more actively being called with someone who know deeply about the whole procedure, about how to smart contract work with each other. Maybe I stopped by it. And about the front-end developer, unfortunately, we had interviewed someone to hire, and from Middle East. I had planned to join, make him the main developer of token, and keep Ramin. Ramin is working on the project verification and US trace set. So unfortunately today I called him and he said that I got promoted and I got raised and I will not leave my job. So I'm talking whether we can get more time from Churik. Of course, he can do it. It's very good. The front-end developer. But from my side, I said that I should, I don't know, about the design. Maybe Lauren knows very well about what will happen, about the user journey, about the smart contracts. Maybe I can have more calls with Griff, or Edu has not respond yet. I have just concern about it. If someone help me about what's happening technically, I can go faster. That's it.
Yeah, I think like something for, I don't know, in the next sprint that would be great is like, yeah, just more communications across like all our teams, like between comms and design, and then like with Amin, so that everybody, like devs know what we're building and design knows what it's looking like and comms knows like what words are going in. And but I feel like this is going to be like a nice thing to do this week. And I feel like pretty good about the last sprint. I'm happy that everybody's back and there's like more energy moving forward. Daily stand-up sounds like an interesting idea. So I'm like looking forward to seeing how that develops. Anyway, those are my thoughts. But anyway, I mean, based on what you were saying also, I would love to sync up with you and talk a little bit more about like kind of like what my ideas were for laying out Give on the DApp, and I think that would probably help as well.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm waiting to see if Donna rejoined. She was on for a moment and then dropped, but I'm curious for her to speak to the daily stand-ups piece. But in the meantime, are there any other shares?
The other thing is that I will be a little bit MIA the next 2 days. Also traveling and going to see my mom, which will be cool, and probably want to give her some time since it's been a while. But I don't know if anyone else is going to be MIA. And Lauren's also MIA tomorrow, I assume.
Yeah,
so,
I'm going to be gone like pretty much the rest of the day today and tomorrow because I'm traveling to San Jose and then getting a flight.
Is anyone else going to be difficult to reach at all this week or next?
I'm going to be impossible to reach on Thursday with a combination of like a ton of doctor's appointments for my mom and 1559 patches for my crypto.
Fun.
And don't you know it?
Okay, bueno. Well, thank you guys all for your shares. I've tracked the adaptations we'd like to make for next time, just reviewing and pulling out the highlights here, wanting to get the dev team more integrated into our calls and moving things forward and working with the designs and give backs and getting things set up on Rinkeby. Donna integrating more and taking on tasks of road mapping and maybe helping to facilitate some calls like these potential daily stand-ups, but I'll wait to talk with her about that directly. And yes, more communication between the various circles and teams as it pertains to Give Economy. And then it sounds like Amin and Lauren are going to have a one-on-one.
Yeah, and one more update on Gardens. I almost forgot. Gardens, we have our garden launch, the Give Garden launch, but the front end is broken for every new garden that is launched. So we're having like we're not really sure what that'll be a blocker for testing gardens, which will take some time. Which is something we really want to do this week is make lots of issues for the One Hive crew to fix. But so hopefully they'll fix that. But we're on their timeline there. And they have 2 people on it. Paulo and Gabby are both like, that's their primary focus right now. So.
Okay. I'm going to put this in as sprint number 13, pre-planning. Give gardens. Okay. All right. So are there any pieces that we would like to take a little bit of time? We have about 22 minutes left on this call. Are there any things that we want to use the time for in this moment to hack on and bring to completion, or would we prefer to do a bit of pre-planning and decide on what our Sprint 13 priorities are, and then rather than having our pre-planning and kickoff call tomorrow, we could use the time for a hack session?
Yeah, I kind of like that the former plan, unless anyone else has a preference. Because I can definitely share this Rinkeby testing roadmap and just walk through it and hopefully make it entertaining so people care. And I think it'll help us all be aligned on the plans for this week.
Amazing. I'm not hearing any other objections or suggestions. Amin went on mute. Was there something you wanted to say?
No, I agree. I just wanted to mention that I agree.
Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to run right into it. There are a lot of blockers that are not in our control. The big 2 are Gabby and Paulo getting gardens up, and Edu giving us his time while he's launching a very young economy and dealing with a lot of stuff. So that is the big challenge. But once the Give Garden gets up, there's a new deployment here, and it is right now it just shows this bee dancing, and that's the issue, is that we just get this dancing bee. But once we get this going, it would be really, really nice to get everyone to play with it and make a million issues. The place to make issue is right here. So if anyone's like, I want to help the Give economy, well, let's make gardens better for everybody. And that's Donna, I think, wants to help push that forward. But don't be shy. You can, once we get this up, then we can start making issues. We have a goal of getting at least 15 high quality issues up there. And I think also a second goal is really just to get our core community and our core people comfortable with making proposals in gardens, voting in the Give Garden, and like having conceptual understanding of Give Garden. So that'll be cool. The covenant is not a priority, and I don't necessarily think comms messaging to explain Give Garden and liquidity money is a priority. I feel like we're ahead of the game on that. Right, Mitch, Lauren? We're kind of ahead of the game on comms already.
For comms,
yeah,
and the garden.
Yeah. So the big thing on Give Gardens, testing, and everyone can do that if you want to support. Oh God, that's awesome, but we're blocked. The next is the Give Drop. So Donna, Bowen, and I are working here. on the like getting adding more charity DAOs into the Give drop, and then the other side of that's all happening this week, and the other side of it is the designs. Has anyone ever spoken with Rodri? No? Tragic. So Rodri has been anyone?
No. Who's Rodri? Sorry.
Rodri is actually a designer that just kind of got assigned to do UI for Giveth from Marco. He works closely with Marco. We just got sort of hired by Marco to do Giveth stuff under his direction. And we really need to build this bridge with Rodri. We gave him praise recently a lot in the praise channel, so that's his handle. But it would be really nice to get him to support these Figmas, and that's because Marco's going to be sort of on vacation, and his top priority is the Commons dashboard. So we're really going to need Rodri to lead the effort here, because we're not going to have very much Marco time this month. Does anyone want to lead the push to get Rodri involved?
Just about to DM him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. That would be amazing, because he can. He's our like bridge to Marco, I think, for now, for this month. Hopefully, and hopefully it works. It's a gamble.
Sorry, I would love to connect with Mo2 Mos ID, and if they were invited to our meetings, even dev calls, it will be perfect. Yeah.
So my understanding was that Rodri is more of the like actually making a Figma prototype for an app designer, and then Mo is like going to build a complete UI design framework. Like, oh, this button should have this font and look like this, and he's more of a meticulous designer. So Marco was having him do that. So I would talk to Marco about how to best get Mo involved, but it sounded like Marco didn't feel comfortable putting him on like making these quick Figma edits. That's more of a Rodri task, and Mo is going to build more infrastructurally.
System design. Okay.
Yeah, but talk to Marco, because I don't actually know what I'm talking about. I'm just parroting what he said.
So Lauren, I appreciate if you can invite him even to Dap's meeting. Thank you.
Rodri? Or Mo?
Yeah.
Rodri. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so then that's great. So yeah, the DAOs, hey, if you guys would like to help, you can retweet these tweets and see if we can find more charity DAOs that are hiding out there. And that we will end tomorrow. We'll end the search and have our final list of more DAOs that we want to include. These DAOs include like adding in OneHive, who was totally excluded from the airdrop, but clearly we're using Gardens, so we should include them. Also, we're going to include CLR, the ARIN, and the donors to the quadratic funding thing on XDAI already. Very clear market connection there. And then a bunch more metacartel DAOs were completely left out of our airdrop as well, and they do a lot of blockchain for good charity work. So yeah, we're going to open that up more. Meta, Gamma, Delta, and DAOs like that. And then project verification. Ashley, actually, I was curious if one of the things that I'm worried about is that when we actually launch, we're gonna need a lot of community management and project verification support, and I don't want to just like, you should still be able to have a life. So I was thinking maybe we get you a partner in crime on one of those, on at least one, if not both, of those streams, and how you feel about that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's something that I've been taking into consideration. I do want to start this channel within the Discord so that like we can kind of decentralize this and more people can get involved with verifying projects. The thing that I'm working on now before creating that is just some documentation and like guides so that people who haven't been involved in the verification process thus far can know like where we're at and why we're asking for certain things and the process of verifying the projects. So I want to have that ready and then open up the channel to other people who want to get involved in verifying. So that should help.
That's cool. I mean, would you also be down to work with Heather to, would you like more support in project verification or community management?
Probably.
I feel like we're gonna need to scale you. So, yeah.
I think community management, because I think that with the launch, there's going to be a lot of people coming in wanting to, start projects or donate, and they're going to need to be onboarded more than the verification process. I feel like our verification process is pretty honed in, but I think we're going to get a lot of questions coming in that we're just not ready for or didn't expect to get, or need to research or make certain moves on. So probably community management.
Okay, so what I would ask is that you work with Heather this sprint to get a job description together for a community manager for Giveth, and a community we'll build a community management team. My experience with community management is that usually you just need like one or two people who are really like organized to it, and then you use the community to manage itself, create some insider groups like what DAppNode just did, and kind of make sure that you reward them and these sorts of things. So I don't think, even if we have like I was working with a guy with some friends in Germany that are Mormon, and they have like 9 kids. And they're like, after the third one, they just raise each other, and it's easy. And I feel like it's the same with the community. Once you have two people, maybe 3 at most, everyone else, they raise each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. And when you say Heather, you mean Frischel, right?
No, I mean Heather, the other Hannah.
Okay.
Used to be Hannah. I'll give you her DM.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, someone else unmuted. I wasn't sure. Is there any other comments? Okay. Then give mining. So this is where the real fun is, but we're kind of blocked. It would be a lot faster with Edu. So Amin and Edu trying to get whatever we can on Rinkeby and Gurley. So Rinkeby is going to be our XDAI, and Gurley will be our mainnet, and we will need to add a few more. Pools, because DAppNode's system doesn't have pools on XDAI. So we'll need to add that and a few other small things to make everything work. But that's the plan, is to get get everything that DAppNode has deployed, including a front end, and then start taking the front end that they're at and changing around. But it might take a week probably to get all of that working. So, and we'll see, and it's blocked by Edu. And then I think a nice to have but not necessary is givebacks. I would love for the Giveth Trace team to take this on and start taking on the givebacks program back-end work. But it's also blocked by having tokens and the distro contract for the give mining. So it can't be done this week, and maybe not even next week. Yeah. So that's the Rinkeby deployment plan. In general, the goal is to get everything working on Rinkeby, start playing with it, maybe even letting community insiders play with it, and do a lot of user testing once everything's together, and make sure that we fully understand the system, can take some nice screenshots and show people, make some good content, and have a very stable release to mainnet once all of that is done. So yeah, that's it. I don't know if there's any questions or anything like that.
So if you want, thank you. The introduction. Want to what we make the smart contracts ready, and then make DApp node application drop, and the dashboard works with our smart contracts, our tokens in the test. Yeah, the same project. Yes. All right. So just change the smart contracts values to our application, and then design the DApp node dashboard. Some design pattern for having a dashboard managing the stake value. I don't know. We have a Figma that there was we have a Figma design for it. Yes, for the dashboard of the token.
Sorry, you broke up. Can you say that again?
Yeah. So if one the steps for what we first would be deploying a smart contract, making something similar to DApp node, and bring up the same DApp node front-end project for ourselves. After we started working, trying to implement the front end for our token dashboard. Am I right?
Yes, exactly right.
The dashboard is the what in the box that send UI design. Yeah, no, whole everything. Yeah, it's for just yes. The above is the give drop, and the below is the dashboard. Yes.
So the give drop is probably the first thing to get sorted, and the claim, and then because those designs are completely done, the dashboard for mining, liquidity mining, I don't think we have changed it, but it's basically just taking what DApp node has. No, I don't see it here.
So we should implement the left box.
Yes, we should implement the give drop is the first for the front end work, but the first is the back end work of adding the two pools to the Gurley chain, and then otherwise just deploying with exactly what DApp node has, and then once we deploy with this and we get everything going. And then we deploy one more time on testnet with all of the final numbers, like the final airdrop numbers, the final everything.
Right. So I'm blocked by Edu.
Yes. But hopefully, I'll keep trying to ping them.
Thank you.
So I've taken some notes around the the review of the Rinkeby plan and this deployment plan in general. And then I've also included the Notion doc for the Rinkeby testing roadmap to give that Griff just reviewed in our Sprint 12 closing notes in Notion. I'm just going to go through here and re-review real quick and see if there are any things that you mentioned that don't have clear people assigned to working on those tasks. So for the hiring of a community management person to support or partner with Ashley, I don't know that we have like a clear deliverable there.
Heather can manage it, I think, and she'll make a job description, and she's hiring. Her goal is to hire 4 to 5 people every month. So, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. And then
we'll need another on the design. We need Rodri to kind of take app.dapnode.io and the liquidity mining session and make it look kind of like this, which I don't see this, but maybe Marco has it already somewhere and I just don't know. So like, yeah, this is just placeholders. So there's nothing there.
Okay, cool. So let me add a design notes section.
And it sounded like Lauren, you were kind of on top of that, right?
Yeah, was just messaging with Rodri right now.
Nice.
We're gonna have a 101 this week, and and just like I'll fill him in on some things and see where he's at.
Yeah, and send him the app.dapnode thing. I'm also gonna send him some dapnode tokens. So.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I remembered once the Give Gardens demo. I joined that meeting, but I just want to make sure that its video is available in give us transparency channel or anywhere because I want to review that demo and help with testing with as you said, but I'm not sure. Is there any reference, for example, of videos or documentations? Thank you.
I bet that even if we have a video, I bet that honestly the OneHive forum probably has more info than our video will about how to interact with gardens. And let's see. Yeah, actually, this is like some really great information right here.
That's onehive.org.
Yeah, I'll put this in Give Economy. And this will, and I think the best thing that we can do, honestly, is to really lean on OneHive for support here, because we are going to be their primary. Here's some OneHive beginner videos. That will probably be better than whatever we talked about on the testnet. Because they have been working with gardens for a year now, so they probably have some really nice content.
Very good. and we have to test it and report issues there under. Is there any test scenarios, or I have to check this from +1 Hive, I think.
Yes, well, we can't, I mean, this is good research, and then there are no testing scenarios, is what I'd say. It's really just like going and trying to create proposals, and more than anything, we really need to understand how and why we're using gardens.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're over our time, though. Oh, someone's talking.
Yeah, I just noticed that we're like 2 minutes past the top of the hour, and we have our governance call that is starting in the Gov channel. I think there's a few people over there, so we should close out here. Thank you guys all for participating. I'll send a link to the Notion meeting notes in the Give Economy channel. And see you all in the Gov call. Thank you.